Imagine getting up every day full of energy as if you were in your 20s again. What would that be like? What would it be worth to you? What is your health worth to you? Think about it. Your health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. And yet, too many of us are taking it for granted until something goes wrong. And no one wakes up hoping to be diagnosed with a disease or chronic illness. And yet, we've never been taught how to be proactive in our health through our school or public health. As a registered health coach and integrative health practitioner, I believe it's time this information is made available to everyone. Combining new knowledge around your health and the ability to do my functional medicine lab tests in the comfort of your own home will allow you to optimize your health for today and all your tomorrows. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Welcome back to another special episode of Podapalooza podcast. I'm here with Dr. Karen Lalli. Welcome to the show, Dr. Karen.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoy doing these interviews, and I'm very glad to meet you.
Well, I'm excited for this conversation today, and let me introduce you to the audience. Dr. Karen is a chiropractor, healer, author, and speaker based on Long Island's East End and in Phoenix, Arizona. With 45 years of experience in energetic healing and physical medicine, she has helped hundreds of people reclaim their health and live passionately. An avid nature enthusiast, Dr. Karen wants us to develop our sacred inner selves. And with that, my audience knows that we are true sisters from another mister, because I'm also a nature lover, and I know we're going to love this conversation today. So you like to talk about gut health, as do I, and you add to that the pelvic powerhouse. So let's just dive right in. How did you get into that work quickly? And
Yes, I like to be known as the Pelvic Powerhouse Ambassador, because I believe that the journey to our wellness includes our beautiful pelvis. And people will probably stop and think, what does she mean by that? But I think if we can connect to our sensuality and that we can get comfortable in our body and find where our inner vitality really lies, which is deep within us, that we have better resilience and we can cope with life challenges much better. So we need to flourish on the inside and nourish ourselves both ways to really have a full life. I think passion is underplayed these days. I believe that women, everybody's capable, but I think in general, it's easier for men to live in a man's world these days. And I think a lot of times we get stunted in our creativity and we disconnect from our body from the waist down. We're living in our head.
yes, absolutely. And that's what we're taught through society, to be living in our head. Just going through the school system, it's always, be in the conscious mind, be in the thinking brain. And we think our way through life and with less feeling, because we're told to squash our feelings and emotions as young children when we're told, big girls don't cry and, boys don't cry. And you get to the workplace. I remember being told, leave your problems at home. You don't bring them to the workplace. Would you agree?
I do agree. And remember that our gut or our pelvis, our lower belly, is really the seat of our emotions, and it's also the seat of our intuition. So when we disconnect from that, we're really not getting all the information we need to make good decisions. I think if we only live with what we're told in our head, it could be a lot of things that may not even be from our true self. They may be shoulds, which is what you were mentioning before.
Exactly.
And I do think that the way life is now, people do feel disconnected from each other as well as themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can develop a strong sense of being present and having presence, we can attract the kind of attention we want. We can be heard and seen in our relationships, whether it's at work or at home.
Beautiful. I love what you just said. The strong sense of being present and having presence. It's that second piece, acknowledging that we have presence.
And we have a place.
Exactly. And
We
that,
have a place, we have a voice,
mhm.
and we express through this body right now.
Yeah, that's a big shift for many people.
Yes. If we can take our thoughts and walk them down into our lower belly and feel our feet on the ground, and even develop a way of speaking from there, and even letting the world enter to us instead of straining to meet the world, will be much more stable. We'll be supported because we'll be in ourselves. And I think we'll be able to express ourselves much more fully.
And it comes back to the truth that everything we need in this lifetime is already within us.
Right.
And we just
Yes.
learn how to access it. And it's the intuition. The intuition is giving us the guidance of where we need to be going, and it will never lead us astray. We just have to learn how to slow down enough to hear it.
People think now, I mean, they may have succeeded. I'm going to talk to women specifically right now, but it can happen with men, but I'm going to speak to women right now. Many of us are self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us can take care of our own home. Many of us have grown a family, and we have a career, but we still feel like something's missing. And I think the thing that's missing is we want to be seen still as a female. We want to be seen in our feminine essence. We want attention. Women want attention. All people do, but women need attention. We need it from each other and from our mate. And it's not bad to want that attention. I think it's a very natural thing. But I think it becomes unnatural when when we're not grounded, when we don't feel stable, and we look to the wrong ways to get attention.
Absolutely. Definitely.
I would love to help
Boundaries.
people, especially young women, feel more worthy just from their birthright, just from their autonomy of being a worthy being, that you don't have to expose every part of yourself, that you can be radiant and attract attention through being radiant instead of an exhibitionist.
Yes. Yes. Just think of the radiance that comes from any individual when they open up in a beautiful smile.
And when they're living with their passion showing.
Yes.
So I'd love to show you a passion project of mine.
Sure.
I documented during COVID a tree that was pushed onto the shore from probably Connecticut to Long Island, and it got lodged against a rock and slowly became driftwood.
Mm-hmm.
And I chronicalized the unveiling of this tree. And I made a book. It's called Tree Erotica. And that's the cover.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And it is about how the tree exposed itself to me, and how I became very embedded in nature through communing with this tree, and how sensual it became as it undressed for me.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that.
That really gave me a vehicle to express myself. So having a hobby or even journaling, memorializing your time in nature.
Yes.
Creating ritual. And especially being able to practice a few of the simple sensual steps that I have to offer, I think can really expand your passion for living, your vitality. And we didn't even go to gut health yet.
No, we didn't even go to gut health yet. I'm still loving the talk about nature because I live in nature and absolutely love being in nature. And of course, the hurts of nature or the hurts of Mother Earth is the same as our alpha brainwave. So the moment we step into nature, we start to calm our mind, and that allows us to become present, as you were talking about before. And it allows the stress to fall off our bodies and for us to, as you say, commune with nature and be present and just be with ourselves. And
yeah,
I absolutely love what you're sharing. So are you wanting to share your 3 steps to sensualize?
Sure. Yes, I would. Thinking, the first thing is realizing we're like an antenna.
Mm-hmm.
So checking in, where are you vibrating? What signal are you sending out? And being aware of what your signal is, because what your signal is will attract something like that signal.
Yes.
That's the first step, being aware. What is the signal I'm putting out to the world?
And anyone listening that isn't sure about the fact that we're an antenna, you need to go back and listen to my episode number 184 with Bruce Lipton, because he explained exactly that.
Yes.
And then step number 2?
Step number 2 is using things like affirmations, a walk in nature, spending time in nature, finding your place of inner calm and cementing your core all the way down to your lower belly.
Beautiful.
And when you
into your body.
Yes, when you start to go into your head and start ruminating or going over a thought, obsessing about something, always coming back to the body. You can do it as simply as putting one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and just follow your breath going in and out.
Beautiful.
And I'll give you one very small little tip of the iceberg right now, that when you put your hand on your chest and on your belly, you can start to breathe through your pelvis. You can start to see that you're illuminating your pelvic bowl as you're breathing. And try to make friends with that inner untapped power place, your powerhouse of vitality.
Beautiful. And then that leads into step 3.
Step 3 is, what are you doing about your gut?
Uh-huh. Which, of course, is the key to our overall health.
I say the front side, which we kind of just covered, and the back side. So the back side is our intestines, yes, right? Our colon, yep. Our digestion, our assimilation. And the one step I can tell you in a very, very, very simplified manner is what you're putting into your body, a friend or a foe.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your body doesn't recognize it as friendly, you'll set up all kinds of cascade of chemical reactions that may not end in a positive manner.
Absolutely. And it's amazing how many people are struggling with either diarrhea or constipation, talking about the backside, as a result of gut health issues. And they don't realize the connection. And doctors aren't talking about it. And they're not necessarily realizing that those are both signs of struggles in their digestive system. And we need to look at what's going on in the gut, as well as you said, what they're putting in our body, friend or foe.
Yeah.
And processed foods and foods in boxes made from chemicals to enhance the shelf life, or GMO foods to keep the price low, are foe.
That's right. If your body can't recognize what it is, it sets off an alarm system. If an alarm system set off, your brain and other parts of you are going to be engaged in fighting this illusion of a fight. And your focus will be less, your energy will be less, your mood will be less.
Yes.
Your attention span will be less. And you'll be suffering as a fact, as a result of what your food was. It's called the gut-brain axis.
Yes.
The connection between your gut and your brain. And it also has a lot to do with your immune system, how sensitive you are to foods, but how sensitive you are to stepping up your immunity when you need it.
And not only that, when so much energy and focus is going to one aspect of the body, it's being taken away from all other aspects of the body. And so over time, we end up with some kind of a chronic illness because the immune system can't operate at its best. Neither can the digestive system, neither can the brain, et cetera, et cetera. Our hormones end up being off, and it's a cascading effect.
And we see so much degeneration now of joints, but of the mind, and so many things, and we wonder why. And we just have to think, dirt in, dirt out, clean in, clean out. So if you want to really have your body working for a long time, I did a few Facebook Live recently about my mother. She's 98 and a half. She lives alone. She still drives. She's a Viking.
Yeah.
She's a Swedish Viking. And she eats cold water fish. If I go to her house for lunch, she says, "What do you want?" She has hard crackers, no bread, hardtack, my father called it, Vasa, really hard crackers with either sardines, herring, anchovies.
She's getting all her omega-3s in, looking after her brain, her joints, her eye health, her heart health. I mean, and most of the world is so deficient in omega-3s because omega-6s are in everything, and omega-3s are harder to get. Your mother is doing amazing. And I'm fortunate, too, that my grandmother lived to 101. She lived by herself right to the end, cared for herself, was still driving, and she passed away in her sleep of a stroke. And, that's the path I want to go down. Not the Alzheimer's path and the 10 years in a nursing home where I don't even know who's visiting me. And I have good genes. However, I realized about, 7, 8 years ago, the little voice in my head, the intuition said, is that enough? And I realized no, because she grew up in a cleaner world than I did. I have to do more to get the toxins out that are getting in. We live in a toxic world. Instead of stressing about them, let's just do more to get them out.
Yes.
Regular detoxes. I'm fasting today because, it's my week.
I see that. Wonderful. And so, yes, during our lifetime, we have a barrel, let's see, that of what our toxic load can be. And when it gets filled, it'll spill into our bloodstream. But way before it gets in the blood, it will probably be wreaking havoc with things on the inside that you're not aware of.
Exactly.
That's what degeneration is. It's slow nicking and tearing away of something until it finally gets to the point where you notice it through symptomatology.
Exactly. And then again, society tells us to ignore that symptomatology and, aches and pains, it's just aging, or blame it on your genetics, or blame things on seasonal allergies. No, it's your body talking to you. And
correct.
It's asking you to do something differently.
Like you said about Bruce Lipton, we are not victims of our genetics.
Correct.
We can influence our genetics.
Absolutely.
The negative genetics will unsleeve in a hostile environment. The positive genetics will work, muster up, and be strong in a supportive environment.
Yes.
And this is the only body that we have.
Yes, it's our temple.
So we need to, if we don't treat it like a temple, at least become familiar and friendly with it. One last bonus tip I will give you. If you drink coffee or wine or eat or drink something every day, the same thing every day, once in a while, don't take that thing in. Let your body have a 24-hour break from whatever it is, other than water. Water you can drink every day, but a coffee or tea or juice or wine or anything that you eat every day, just let your body have a break from it for one day so it can pull out the residues of that thing. And your body will thank you, and it'll lower your toxic load.
Absolutely. I talk about overflowing trash cans because everybody's seen that in a city park, right? And you can go buy a detox program at the grocery store and it might scrape off the top layer and leave it still full. Or you do more of a functional medicine detox that picks up the garbage can and dumps it. Because our liver can only do so much. And we need to support it because its role is detoxing. And when it can detox and keep our body clean, and we're thinking about the food we're putting in and making sure it's friend, not foe, most of the time, I do live by the 80-20 rule. That's how we can achieve the type of longevity that your mother's had, that my grandmother has had.
Yes.
So I've loved this conversation, Karen. We are both clearly on the same page here with our work. As we wrap up this episode, I love to ask all of my guests, what does don't wait for your wake-up call mean to you?
That's a very interesting. You're not asking me directly. You're asking them to comment. I'd love to see what they say about that.
Well, I'm asking you directly. It's the name of the podcast. And I ask every guest, what does
ask me again? Well, I listen from my inner being.
What does don't wait for your wake-up call mean to you?
Yeah, don't wait. Don't wait till it's too late. You know, cultivate those good things now. I never smoked. Not that I never tried a cigarette. I did, but I didn't like it that much. And if you know if there's no good to doing it, just don't even, as my nanny would say to my kids, don't go the trouble way.
Exactly. Don't go
right. Don't go down there if you already know there's no good to come of it.
Exactly.
So don't wait for the wake-up call. I love that. Wait for the wake-up call episodes, though.
Yes, definitely wait for them to come out. And so, Dr. Karen, if somebody wants to work with you, how can they get hold of you?
I have a website that I can drop in the chat, I believe. Let me just see if I can copy it quickly. Let's see.
You can send it to me later. That's fine. I just wondered if you wanted to say it so the listening audience.
Release worry.
Release.nowsite.com.
Releaseworry.now, N-O-W site.com.
Beautiful. Love that. And do you have any last words of wisdom? We've had a great episode here. Any last words of wisdom to share with the audience?
No matter what you're going to eat, the mood that you're in when you're eating something makes a difference in how you digest it. So whatever you're going to eat, smell your food first. Take just a minute to let your body get ready to receive the food, chew it, and rejoice in eating it, because your body will do its best to work with what it's given.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Karen, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
It was an amazing conversation. And thank you to my audience for choosing to care enough about your health to tune into this podcast each and every week.
Thank you.
Your unconscious mind is powerful. It's the other 90% of your mind. And yet, you're not even taught about it at school. What if you could access the other 90%? It would be like driving the highway in 6th gear instead of 1st gear. That's what you're doing when you only know the tools of the conscious mind. the 10%, you're going through life in first gear. Are you ready to ramp up and go through life in sixth gear? Learn the powerful tools of your unconscious mind, healing trauma, clearing anxiety in minutes rather than weeks, months, and years? Join our next Meet Your Unconscious Mind workshop so that you can start to learn the power that you already hold within and the tools to access it. Look for the link to register in the show notes.